P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope you guys are having a great day. Man, it's hump day, ain't it? Man, it's hump day. And I most definitely needed some rest. Yesterday kicked my butt. Yesterday was a very, very busy day. So it was nice to just take the day and spend some time with family and do all the things that I needed to do. But still, no matter what, I still wanted to give you guys this story or give you guys the court documents. I had something else planned today, but I'm going to try to push that for tomorrow. I may have to push it to another day because I'm seeing somebody else is covering the same story tomorrow as well. So I may have to wait on a particular story that I've been talking to you guys in the membership about. But it's all good. It happens, you know. We all cover the same stories. That's just how it is, okay? But nonetheless, I wanted to give you guys this because I've been looking for it. I was busting my hump trying to find this, and I was lucky enough to have a friend of the show help us out and get me the actual documents for this Diddy situation. Okay, so now we can actually look at the full documents and see them with our own two eyes. 73 pages, y'all. 73 pages. So get ready, get comfortable. We got things we got to get into. So do me a favor. Before we get into everything, do me a favor. This is going to be thicker than a Snicker. And I'm telling you, like, it's like everybody's in trouble in this business. So hit that like button down below. Crush it. Send it past 300 likes. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that reaction button down below. Please and thank you. Okay? If you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button on my Facebook page. Then, if you're watching on YouTube, please crush that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. That would really, really mean a lot. You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets. Want to give you guys the information and the stuff that you need. So do that for me, please, and thank you. All right. And of course, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Or if you're just on YouTube and you want to support the channel, become a member. Hit that join button down below. Or you can check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Show some love. Check some stuff out. That'd be greatly appreciated. It keeps these purple lights on. Okay? And they also change different colors. So and that ain't cheap either. So help a brother out. Okay? Anyway, we have got some things we got to get into. Okay? We have got to get into this. As you guys already know, Diddy is looking at a new lawsuit by a new person. A new lawsuit by a man this time. I know it's pretty shocking to say the least. Not as shocking at all. Honestly, I think we've all been waiting for this moment. For the most part, we all been like, okay, a lot of women have been stepping forward. Are any men going to step forward? And now we're starting to hear men stepping forward. And hey, I had some pushback. I have some questions about this lawsuit because of his track record. Not his track record, because of the actual alleged victims' breadcrumbs leading to this lawsuit. Okay, we've already seen a bunch of that stuff. Please go check out my playlist. It's called The Diddy Files. Go check that out. Okay, that was yesterday morning's live that we did together as a family. I just had a bunch of questions. I'm sitting there going, wait a second, what is the real reason that he's feeling some type of way about this? Is it because he's an actual victim and actually saw all these things that he claims to say in this scathing 73-page lawsuit, okay, that he filed? Or is he disgruntled because he doesn't feel like he got paid what he was rightfully deserved for his alleged producing and his expertise on the Love album that just recently came out in September? Okay. Also, Grammy nominated Love album that just dropped in September. Just so you guys know that too. Okay. So nonetheless, we got the paperwork, we got the full documents. So we're gonna blaze right through this. We're gonna go through as much as we can of this. Hopefully, we can get this all done in one sitting, but it is a lot of paperwork. We're going to go through it. I might be jumping through some things because of legal jargon and crap like that. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Please go check out like Emily D. Baker or the lawyer you know, or maybe Andrea Burkhart. I don't think she's covering this, but you know what I'm saying. I don't think any of these guys are covering this lawsuit, but at the same time, you know, they would have the expertise and the experience talking about this kind of stuff, the legal jargon stuff. Okay. Well, we all know what SA, SHR, the using of chemicals against people, etc. We all know those are illegal. Okay. Layman's know that stuff. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. All right. I'm going to be going through this and we're going to stumble through this because there's going to be a lot of code words that I'm going to have to be using throughout this entire thing. Again, it's 73 pages of very, very graphic, very T-dubs, okay, type of content and covering a lot of things. Like I said, everything from S workers to SH, SA, R, using party favors, etc., etc., etc. So please be wary, be ready, and let's get into this, guys. All right. So obviously, page one is just saying, okay, you know, obviously this is going to be highly graphic information of a certain type of nature. And let me just blow this up for you guys a little bit more so you guys can see this better. Okay. So fair warning, T-dubs, of course, we are going to be going into a lot of code words coming up very, very soon. Okay. So we don't need to go through all this, but from September 2022 to the date of this filing, defendants have consistently and purposefully availed themselves of the privilege of conducting activities within New York, thus invoking the benefits and protections of New York law. In return for these benefits and protections, defendants must submit to the burdens of litigation in New York. Litigation arises from or relates to the tortuous activities defendants visited upon defendants in the states of New York, California, Florida, and the United States Virgin Island. Okay, this conduct violated U.S. federal RICO laws. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, we already know that a lot of the parties that are involved, and they all got photos in here. They all get their close up. Okay. And what's wild is, I mean, they could have picked a better photo for Sean. You know what I'm saying? There's a multitude that they could have picked on Google, and they put his name out here just as like blammo. Here he is. We already know about Sean Combs. We already know about Diddy. He goes by Diddy, p.diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love or Love. Okay. There's his photo. I still can't believe that this is what they do to him. Okay. These are the cast of characters that are listed in this lawsuit. Okay. Which is kind of wild. It's almost like the beginning of a play. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. All right. But here it is. Okay. Then the next person that's in this as well, Justin Dior Combs, the son, apparently he's the eldest son of Sean Diddy Combs. Okay. He's a producer and actor. There he is right here, as you guys can see. Then Lucian Charles. Okay. Lucian Charles Grange. He's the CEO of defendant UMG, or Universal Music Group. Okay. And of course, you know, they're saying, you know, stuff. All right. There he is again. All right. Ethiopia Hetep. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm just going to say Ethiopia. Okay. You've all heard these names before. Christina. Okay. Chief of staff, you know, one of his yes people. Let's be real. All right. Then there's, where is this? Defendant Chalice Recording Studios, which I haven't heard yet of, but Chalice Recording Studios, Motown Records, the defendant UMG, or Universal Music Group. Again, Love Records. All right. Combs Enterprises or Combs Global. All right. Now, moving on. Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. is from the Windy City, Chi-Town. He was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Mr. Jones is the second oldest son and fourth child of 9 siblings. Okay. Mr. Jones comes from a long line of gospel music influencers. Mr. Jones started playing instruments at the age of 5. We don't need all that stuff. Okay. Long story short, he is obviously a very, very talented musician. Okay. And they're basically saying he's a musical prodigy up in this piece. All right. His talents led him to produce and create a commercial marketplace for music that has been recorded by some of the most prestigious and highly acclaimed artists in music history. All right. Throughout his career, he has worked the South Side of Chicago music scene, playing for the following legendary greats like all these people. Okay. So moving on. Summary of events. Okay. And there's a few things here. So let's get into this piece. Okay. From September 2022 to November 23, Mr. Jones produced 9 songs on Mr. Combs' Love album. Remember, we had Stevie J basically saying, like, you didn't produce nothing, quit lying. You put some bass line on something. You played a little piano on something. Please miss me with the nonsense of you actually producing these songs. But he's claiming he produced 9 songs on the Love album. Okay, he lived with Mr. Combs for months at a time, spending holidays, birthdays, and missing major family events. Mr. Jones resided at Mr. Combs' residence located in LA, New York City, Miami. Mr. Jones also spent several weeks on a yacht rented by Diddy in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as producer on the Love album. The claims raised in this complaint have been corroborated through witness statements, video, audio recordings, and images that Mr. Jones has in his possession. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, like what we read before, he would go and grab the phone or whatever he was using to record Diddy, and he would begin recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. He has secured irrefutable evidence of the acquisition, use, and distribution of X, nose candy, GHB, the Keta, Mary Jane, and the shrooms. The displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal pew-pews. Got to use these code words, unfortunately, guys. Mr. Combs providing laced or spiked alcoholic beverages to littles and S workers at his homes in California, New York, and in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and also in Florida. His chief of staff, Christina, also goes by KK, I guess, instructing her staff to retrieve party favors so she can provide it to Diddy for his consumption. Now, Christian Combs, for his consumption, Christian Combs using these and SAing women, using these things on women, lacing stuff and against their will, and of course, SAing these women. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with, here we go. This is when it starts getting spicy. So Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact of his public image of Cassie's lawsuit. Swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Swallowed up. Swallowed up. Yeah, Bishop T.D. Jakes. He wanted to leverage his relationship with T.D. Jakes to soften his image after the Cassie lawsuit dropped. Just to remind you guys of that. And remember, ain't timing a mother lover. Remember the timing of that ish? Because as soon as Cassie dropped that thing on Diddy, dropped the thing about Diddy, I'm sorry, then all of a sudden, swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed. You remember that? That was literally like within weeks, right? That was within weeks. So much for him trying to work that out. Planning, the timing was terrible. Okay? Bad timing for a musician and producer. You know what I mean? Timing was off on that one. Let's move on. Young Miami's cousin and or assistant S.A.'d Mr. Jones, which we heard about in the other articles that we read before. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. S.A.ing and A-ing Mr. Jones. Now, this stuff is crazy. The rapper 3, we got to go to the footnotes here in a little bit, but rapper 3 redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht, consorting with Little's S workers and another a R&B singer 4 redacted at Diddy's home in Los Angeles, talking with Little's and S workers. Hold on, before we continue on, let's get down to the stuff that we're talking about here. They said rapper 3, R&B singer 4. Rapper 3. He is a Philadelphia rapper, who dated Nicki Minaj. Who do you think that could be? Don't worry, I answer for you. Meek Mill. But I'm just saying, at least that's what people are speculating out here in these streets. Because Meek Mill is a Philadelphia rapper. Then on top of it, let's not forget, he also dated Nicki Minaj. Now, here's the thing, though. Maybe there's another Philadelphia rapper that dated Nicki Minaj back in the day that was a blip on the radar, but I highly doubt it. And there's a lot of stuff now on the internets that are starting to come back up, resurface, of stuff with Meek Mill and Diddy, like twinning, wearing clothes, same outfits and stuff. Just very questionable things. And you're wondering, has Meek Mill ever been swallowed up? Okay? Just saying that out loud. Now let's move on to this part too. Okay? Now this says, back up here, remember, this is R&B singer 4. So 4. He's a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after A-ing a Bajan billionaire. So I'm curious, who do you think that could be? R&B artist, Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with the law after, this is Sea Breezy, maybe? I don't know. But that's interesting. That's interesting. I said it in the title. Everybody's in trouble. Everybody's in trouble. Okay? Everybody. And I don't, like I said, the Meek Mill stuff, I'm like, meh. The Sea Breezy, I'm like, meh. You know what I mean? I still got questiones. Like, he's just trying to put cases on everybody. You know what I'm saying? But let me continue. All right. On or about September 12th, 2022, Diddy held a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studios. Okay. Present at his camp were Diddy, his son, Justin's friend named G. Okay. Now, Mr. G, Justin's friend, is a 30-year-old tall African-American male. That very specific. I'm joking. In addition to these individuals, other musicians were present at the camp. This writer has spoken to several musicians who attended the camp. One evening during the camp, Diddy, his son, and G were in a heated conversation. This conversation was moved out of the studio and into a restroom adjacent to where Mr. Jones was sitting. Mr. Jones was approximately 2 feet away from the bathroom when pew pew, the sound of a pew pew went off. Mr. Jones recalls hearing a couple of these shots going off. Mr. Jones immediately went into a state of shock and feared that he would be hit next with the pew pew. Mr. Jones genuinely believed that he would be hit through the door due to how close he was. After this incident of this firefight ended, a crowd gathered around the restroom. When the door finally opened, it was Diddy and Jay, the son, that exited. G was lying on the restroom floor in a fetal position, holding his stomach and leaking out of his hip leg area. Everyone stood around looking upon G, frustrated by the lack of aid to G. Mr. Jones dropped everything and ran to G and immediately began placing pressure on G's GSW to his stomach. As he was applying pressure on his stomach, Mr. Jones realized that G was gushing red from another area near his hip leg. He decided to lift G and placed him to sit on the toilet. Mr. Jones, okay, Lil Rod, asked the crowd to call the ambulance. Rod lifted G and brought him to the ambulance at the studio's front. At this time, Diddy and Justin disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with this situation. He also forced Lil Rod to lie to the police by telling them that G was hit standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. Now, what's interesting is he brings in the receipts. An article right here. Let me show you. Okay. Says here, man hit outside party at Hollywood recording studio. At least one person was hit at a party at a Hollywood recording studio. Police said Monday. Officers were called to the 800 block of North Highland Avenue to check into reports of a pew pew or exchange of fire about 3 a.m. according to the LAPD. At the location, they found a man that had been hit by a bullet after stepping outside the studio. The man in his 30s was taken to the hospital in stable condition. He was reportedly hit in the abdomen. Sky 2 was over the scene early Monday, spotted several people sitting outside the location being questioned by police. No information was released about the suspect, and it is not known if the situation was gang-related. That's very interesting, guys. But let's continue on. They said, of course, the man is in his 30s. All right. He was in his, again, in his stable condition. So it's interesting that they said all that. Lil Rod has several corroborating witnesses who spoke with this writer anonymously due to the fear of retaliation from Diddy. They have agreed to speak publicly when subpoenaed. Okay, that's interesting. So hopefully we'll find out more information here. And you can see this is proof positive of the aftermath of the incident right there. So he says his clothing that he wore that day, he has the clothing that he wore that day and believes it may still have stains and DNA of G's blood. The following are the screenshots of the aftermath of the restroom where G was hit by either Combs or Justin. And I'm just going to show you guys that in a flash. You already saw it, so we got to keep going. Try not to show you guys too many alarming images, but that's some footage right there. Receipts, allegedly receipts. Let me just say this too. Let me say this, okay, really, really quick. That could very well be real, or that could be staged-ish. That could be fake. That could be fake blood. That could be all kinds of different things, guys. I'm just gonna keep a buck, just to err on the side of we have to sit and straddle this fence. We most definitely got to sit and straddle this fence, unfortunately. Okay. So again, this could be staged stuff. It could also be very, very real. Just saying that out loud. Let's continue on. Clearly, G was not hit outside of the studio as Mr. Combs, or Diddy, instructed his team to report to law enforcement. Diddy and defendant LRMR, UMG, and CRS provided private security for the writers' camp at defendant CRS at the I forgot the name of it now. What was it called? At the Chalice recording studios, if I'm correct. Which one was CRS? Anyway, interesting. All right. Let us continue with our story. All right. At defendant CRS, the security was porous and lackluster at best. The fact that either Diddy and Diddy's son were allowed to enter CRS with weapons and those weapons were not confiscated by security is a clear breach of duty by Diddy, defendants LRMR, and UMG to protect Lil Rod and other attendees of this writers camp. Yeah, I agree. Why would you be out here doing all this mess and going, oh, we're going to protect you? Don't worry, guys, you're protected. But then you still know that he's strapped? That's ridiculous, y'all. Okay? As a result of this situation, this incident that happened, Mr. Jones, Rodney, is severely traumatized. Rodney now suffers from PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Only because of that situation? I'd figure you'd be having PTSD from all the other stuff that you're claiming. Okay? Like him being SH'd and SA'd by Mr. Combs. So let's get into that. Throughout his time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized grabbing and touching of his beau by Mr. Combs. Now, we already talked about that at great lengths on a couple other shows. I'm still wondering what the hell. But anyway, these events took place in LA, New York, Florida, and in the Virgin Islands. In addition to the unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Rod was forced by Diddy to work in his bathroom as Diddy walked around buck naked, showered in a clear glass enclosure. Again, like I said, you are working in there and you're making beats and you got moisture everywhere. I see, that's the one part I'm like, you're dropping beats while he's, singing Rubber Ducky in the shower. I still don't get that part. That still doesn't make sense. He says, as a heterosexual Christian man, Mr. Jones was uncomfortable with Diddy, his advances, and expressed his discomfort to the chief of staff, KK, Christina. Christina responded to Rod's complaint and said, Sean will be Sean. Sean will be Sean, though. You feel me? No, I don't get that, sweetheart. No. Sean will not be Sean. Sean is being a monster if these allegations are true. KK also attempted to downplay Diddy's grabbing of his beau and his twig and berries as friendly horseplay, stating that these acts were Mr. Combs' way of showing that he likes you, Rod. Despite these assurances, on several occasions, when Diddy began to take his clothes off and walk around his house, buck as naked as the day he was born, KK would say, okay, I'm leaving now. What? So she would leave because it's uncomfortable for her. So she would disappear. All right. So her hypocrisy is breathtaking at best or enabling at worst. Mr. Jones believed that, Rod believed that KK aided and abetted Diddy's SA of him and was working with Diddy to broom him, we got to use these code words, into accepting a Brokeback Mountain type of relationship. Through these sexually deviant acts, one would say Mr. Combs has a pattern and practice of engaging in such nefarious activity. Yeah, we can say that. There's been plenty of those. Plenty of those. This ongoing conduct shows that Diddy cannot be rehabilitated. So there's no turning back. What Diddy is what Diddy is. There's no way of changing his ways. Okay? Diddy attempted to broom Mr. Jones into engaging in activities. They don't have to say the gay part. Like clearly they know. You know what I'm saying? Like these are two men. We already know that these are two men doing the hibbity dibbity. We already know that. We don't have to add it in there. To add on top of it, the sex they were having was gay. Really? Did we just wait? There are two men? Oh my gosh. What? There are two men? Come on, y'all. Come on. We ain't dumb. Moving on. Diddy was aware that Rod looked up to and idolized producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, Stevie J. Here we go. Stevie J is an American DJ, record producer, and TV personality. He's part of the Bad Boy record production team, the Hitmen. 1997, he won a Grammy, blah, blah, blah. We already know about Stevie J. Okay? He's one of the producers on the Love album. Diddy used access to Stevie J and his knowledge of Lil Rod's admiration of Stevie J to broom and entice Mr. Jones to engage in other spicy activity. So, Diddy went so far as to share a video of Stevie J blowing some white dude's back out without a rubber. This was done to ease Lil Rod's anxiety concerning that word. I can't say these words too much, but like I'm saying, like the So he was just sitting there, watching a video, and we find out later another adult star came out and said, adult film star said, or adult film actor, whatever, said, no, that's not Stevie J, that's me that's actually performing in that video. Now, if that's true, I don't know. But that's what somebody's coming out and saying, no, that's me. Hi, I'm the one blowing that white dude's back out raw. Yeah. But he used this video no matter what. This is the part that just blows my mind. He still used this to try to ease Lil Rod his anxiety over male-on-male love. Do you understand? Like, here, you ain't comfortable with the male-on-male love? Hold on, let me put in this man-on-man action real quick. Let me put on this spicy video. Does it make you feel comfortable? Does this make you feel even more? I mean, they're doing it, so why can't we do it? You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. You not comfortable? It's all good. I'll ease. I'll set the mood. Let me put this other video of somebody else that looks like Stevie J blowing this other dude's back out real quick, raw. Does that make you comfortable? That makes me comfortable. Does it ease you into the mood for some male on male action? Maybe. No? Does that make sense, y'all? Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know how that sets anybody in the mood. Like, I'm not comfortable with this. And then you put the same thing that they're not comfortable with on a jumbo TV, like 85-inch TV. And you expect them to be like, well, since I see it on TV, let's dive on in. That doesn't make sense to me, guys. According to Mr. Combs, this is a normal practice in the music industry. Oh, snap, shnikes. This is a normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it, bro. So he's doing it. You should be doing it too, bro. Doesn't that make you feel comfortable? They all doing it. We all blowing each other's backs out. Raw. It's all good, baby. He looks, see, you see Stevie J. That's your idol. He doing it. So why don't we do it? So he's informed, or Combs informed Lil Rod that he engaged in activities with rapper 5, R&B singer 6, redacted, and Stevie J. So he claims that he smashed Stevie J. And let's find out. Rapper 5, R&B singer 6. Rapper 5, Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. R&B singer. He performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Okay. Who could that? Well, that could be Elvis. But I don't think Elvis ever performed at the Super Bowl. But come on. Who could that be? R&B singer performed at Super Bowl. And they just had a residency in Vegas. Ursher. These are my confessions. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that about a bee? So this is what he's saying. This is what he says that Diddy is saying to him. Okay? He's like, I smashed many dudes. Not only just Stevie J, but these other 2 people too. And a slew of other people. So we all are doing this. We all swapping spit. It's normal. It's just a handshake. It's just like a handshake. It's just like a handshake. So let's continue. Hamburger. Okay. Mr. Combs promised to make sure that Lil Rod wins Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he engaged in this man-on-man activity. The following are screenshots of the video 7 of Stevie J apparently smashing that and this is the same video that apparently Diddy provided to Mr. Jones to try to calm him down so he can you know. All right. Flash. That's all I'm doing. Flash. Okay, moving on. Thanksgiving. This is where this is interesting. This is where Mr. Jones gets SA'd by Young Miami's cousin. So on Thanksgiving Day 2022, Mr. Jones was in Diddy's house located in Miami. Young Miami and her female cousins were also present. Diddy was intoxicated and offered some of that booger sugar to Mr. Jones, to Lil Rod. Lil Rod rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom. While using the restroom, Young Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began grabbing, you get what I'm saying, grabbing Lil Rod, probably his rod. So Lil Rod believes that Mr. Combs sent her there to SA Mr. Jones. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began to perform. She started rocking his mic on him, okay? And apparently on his exposed ding dong. Now, what's interesting about this situation? Hold on. So he pushed her away and he exited the bathroom. Now, let me just say this really quick, okay? I'm sorry. So he's exposed. He went to the bathroom to relieve himself. Not in that way, but I'm just saying, take a leak. So she just went over there, just him drop trowel and just put her lip, her soup coolers around a just finished urinating ding dong? Okay. Okay. We're going on. Okay. She just really needed, and I'm not sitting here saying that this isn't real, but I'm just saying how, like, interesting. And what would make her think that this is the right time for her to go into that bathroom and drop to her knees and perform on his microphone? You see what I'm saying? Not like he was like, I'm going to the bathroom, Young Miami's cousin. I'm going to the bathroom to take a leak. Kind of. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. What if he was in there dropping a deuce? I'm just saying, think about that stuff, y'all. That's crazy. That's crazy. At least before you open the door, you at least knock or take a sniff real quick. Like, is he dropping a deuce? Take a listen at the door. Take a glass, put it up against the door. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's not a bagoosh or a, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, and she just comes busting in. And then, dude, Lil Rod, you didn't lock the door? Was there a lock feature on the door? Did she have a key? Was it a fob? Like, how did this work out? You know what I'm saying? Let me just continue. Okay? I'm just saying. At least check your surroundings before you know what I'm saying? All right. Moving on. He pushed her away and he exited the bathroom. Moving on. Young Miami's cousin did not accept his rejection. And as she proceeded to follow him out of the bathroom, she started undressing and attempting to straddle him and to, get with him in the presence of his staff, of Diddy and his staff. Now, not his staff, the people that work with him and I'm sure, Young Miami and all that, not his actual staff. Okay. She wanted to ride Rod. Exactly. Sinaloa. But it's very odd to me that she's like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you gonna get this. And then she like, you see what I'm saying? But okay. Actually, hold on. Let me just check something really quick before things get, just to make sure these photos aren't too bad. Okay. Some of these are just taking a quick trip down memory lane. All right. But still, I'm going, okay, interesting, right? All right. And of course, guys, please do not forget, hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. That would really mean a lot. All right. Let's get it past 400 likes, okay? Like doesn't cost a thing, but it also helps this show and this channel grow. So please hit that like button down below. Send it past 400 likes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of the family. We talk about a lot of things on this channel, so hit that join button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's continue on. So she said, you gonna get this, and then jumped him, basically. Once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. The following images from a video, the video 8 of Young Miami and her cousin, Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs. So this is all this. So this is the cut. This is my Young Miami and the cousin. Now, so this is on Thanksgiving Day, right before Diddy invites Mr. Jones into the before Mr. Combs invites Mr. Jones into the restroom and attempted to force him to take that powder. Then my Young Miami and her female cousin, who SA'd him on Thanksgiving Day. So this is them together. Okay? Interesting. So, rush houring and Victims Protection Act. Okay. Throughout his time with Diddy, Rod was transported from California to New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands. During this time, he was forced to solicit S workers and perform acts to make Diddy happy. On or about February 4th, 2023, Diddy forced Rod to bring S workers. Okay. See, I'm going to say this once. Prostitutes and S workers, I mean, I feel like they're in the same category, right? So S workers and S workers back to his home in Miami, Florida. Okay. Here's some stills, allegedly. Okay. The S workers that Diddy forced him to that Diddy forced Rod to bring back to his home. So on or about February 2nd, 2023, this incident, Rod believes Diddy spiked him, okay, slipped something in his drink. Rod recalls waking up dizzy and confused and without any clothes on. He was in bed with two S workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. And allegedly, these are photos of S workers in the bed. Okay. That was the morning after being slipped something that he didn't know was slipped in his drink. On another occasion in Miami, Florida, on Thanksgiving night of 2022, Diddy asked Rod and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked them for a $100 bill because he wanted to do some snow with them, or he wanted them to do snow with him. Rod was scared, but luckily he didn't have a $100 bill. Like, what would have happened if he said, I got a $5? Did he say, like, hell no, I ain't doing no blow with no $5? I'm a boss. The hell's wrong with you? I'm just curious. So Diddy waited a little later to do the blow with Young Miami. Later that evening, he required Rod to solicit S workers from Booby Trap on the river. Okay. And he did so. Okay. Rod did so. And then Diddy forced him to engage in unsolicited acts with these workers. And this is the Booby Trap. That is the Booby Trap. That is a strip club. That is the exterior of a strip club. Hamburger. That is not an ice cream shop, y'all. That is definitely not Baskin Robbins. Okay? Hamburger. Moving on. Booby Trap on the river. As part of Rod's recruitment, okay, or as part of his recruitment tools, Diddy provided him with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it at the Booby Trap on the river as a signal to S workers he approached that Mr. Combs was in town and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit them. Obviously, Rod had no desire to visit Booby Trap on the river. Rod had no desire to solicit S workers from the Booby Trap on the river. Diddy used his power and influence to intimidate and force Rod into soliciting S workers from the Booby Trap on the river, as detailed below. Diddy used many tactics to maintain dominion and control over Rod. So apparently, these workers were accustomed to servicing Diddy and would know that he was in town by the sight of the bad boy's baseball cap. Do you realize how many people now, how many messed up mother lovers are going to be showing up to the Booby Trap wearing the bad boy's baseball cap right now? They are all showing up right now. Some idiot is going to say, yo, I'm going to try that. I'm showing up. And I'm going to wear that hat. And then maybe they're going to try to throw some, you know what I mean? There's going to be some crazy mother lover out here going, oh, let me try it. Let me see if I can get the attention that I've been wanting to get from Cinnamon, from Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. All right, but they were accustomed. and they may still be accustomed to that. Okay. The following are Instagram profiles of two S workers that I guess Diddy required Rod to solicit and to get it on with at his home in Miami. Okay. I mean, they look like honest girls, you know. They probably just want to sit down, read the Bible, and drink Perrier with you. I mean, they look like upstanding girls. But moving on. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit or to have relations with the individuals in the previous paragraph. Diddy used his power of influence to intimidate and force Jones into soliciting and sleeping with these women. The following is the phone number of another S worker, okay, that he performed these acts with. So screenshots, more screenshots, okay? Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit or to get on with these individuals in the previous paragraphs. He used his influence, blah, blah, blah. We already know about Diddy doing all that. Diddy used many tactics to maintain dominion and control over Mr. Jones. He promised him a Grammy for producer of the year for the Love album. He offered him $250,000 to purchase all the instruments he wanted. Man, he promised him ownership of his $20 million property, One Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised access to record label executives like defendants Lucian Charles Grange and Ethiopia H. Okay, I can't pronounce that last name, unfortunately. But was he really that amazing? Was he really that fine? You know what I'm saying? He really that fire? That this guy's like, I'm willing to give you everything, all the musical instruments you ever wanted. Man, I will give you the title to this house right now. It is worth 20 mil. I got you, bro. And then on top of it saying, I'm going to get you producer of the year for doing Love album. The hell? Diddy would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Rod the world to threatening Rod with physical harm. Diddy threatened to eat Rod's face and informed Rod that he was willing to unalive his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants. So he wouldn't think twice to harm Rod. He really threw his mama in there? Man, I'm going to eat your face. Man, I will take the life of my own mother. I don't care, man. You're going to get this right. That's crazy. You know how crazy I am, son? You know how crazy I am? Man, I'll unalive my own mother, man. What? That's the cocaine talking, cabrons. Okay? That's the cocaine. That's that cocaine, bruh. Let's be real. If this stuff is true, which I'm sure a good portion of this is true, okay? But cocaine's a hell of a drug, all right? So moving on. This is when it gets really, really hairy, but this is all the stuff where he's saying, very unthinkable acts with littles and S workers, okay? So, we're going to get through this sticky part. But on or about July 2nd, 2023, in California, Mr. Combs had a listening party at his home. Notice that's in quotations. Present at his party was R&B artist 9, Jay Combs, his son, okay, S workers, and some littles. The event began at 7 p.m. Diddy requested female S workers and required Rod to solicit them. An hour later, S workers appeared. In addition to S workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd that were under the age of 16. That is disturbing. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink a spiced De Leon liquor. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs laced or spiked the liquor with X. Diddy did not check the identification of any of these girls. The presence of these women, okay, these littles, made Rod very uncomfortable. He attempted to leave, and Diddy forced him to stay. Diddy went so far as to take Rod's car keys to prevent him from leaving. After being forced to drink a spiked shot, he began feeling lightheaded and recalls passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning in his birthday suit with an S worker sleeping right next to him. Screenshots of a video from that night is embedded below. Now, real quick, this is when he said he was at a listening party. Present at this listening party was R&B artist 9. So who is that R&B artist? Number 9. He is a Grammy Award winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement. So he's talking about C Breezy. Again, C Breezy? C Breezy? Hold on, I got to make sure that these screenshots are not super bad. Okay. Just making sure, you know what I mean? I gotta worry, I gotta make sure the people who are watching in the nosebleed seats aren't looking at stuff that they shouldn't be seeing either. But this is apparently the screenshots from this. Okay. So this is with a little, Combs with a little, another little, an S worker, and his son with a little. Okay. So he attempts to pass off. So apparently Diddy was trying to pass off Lil Rod, okay, to Cuba Gooding Jr. Rod believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. This fear became reality when Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on his yacht, while they were on Diddy's yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba, quote unquote, get to know Mr. Jones a little bit better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. Here they are, Diddy and Cuba enjoying a conversation. Okay. This is before, they say this is a screenshot before before Cuba aid him. Okay. As evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, grabbing, messing with Mr. Jones' legs, upper thighs, near his nether region, in the small of his back, near his buttocks and his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Rod forcibly pushed him away. The following is a screenshot of the encounter with Cuba Gooding Jr. Now, this right here, like I said, we've seen this screenshot before. But if we look at this, it's just like, hey, this is my dude. We're bonding over music. We're talking about some stuff. This is a talented dude, man. And, this could be Cuba Gooding Jr. drunk as hell or high as hell. He could be on some serious chemicals himself. Okay? I will also say Cuba Gooding Jr. has had his fair share of issues as of late. Ever since the Me Too movement, he has had some very, very bad run-ins with lawsuits, the law, etc. He doesn't know how to keep his hands to himself. So again, you look at this, and I wonder how much of this is actually true, or if they're just using this as an opportunity. Like, hey, this is also a person who has had a very tumultuous fall from grace, especially with him not being able to keep his hands to himself. He has a history of that. So now you got a photo with the guy. It's really easy, especially when you got stories about him out here already where he's been accused of not keeping his hands to himself. And now you got photos of him in this. He's also hanging out with another person that clearly cannot keep his hands to himself at all either. He has freak offs. He has all this other stuff as well. I mean, remember all those things. And, birds of a feather, you are what you eat. Okay. You are the company that you keep, so on and so forth. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's not the greatest thing. Okay? This is not good at all. And this could literally be an innocent interaction. But because of his past and who he's hanging out with, and the fact that he's getting lumped into this lawsuit as well, sheesh. It's tough. It's a tough one. Moving on into the Love album. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was under an implied work for hire agreement. He was not compensated for his time living with Mr. Combs or the songs he produced. As evidence, he was listed as a producer for the following songs: the Love album's final release, okay, Deliver Me, Stay Part 1, Reaching, What's Love, Stay a While, Moments, Need Somebody, Homecoming, and Tough Love. Mr. Combs and defendants of those people all benefited from Rod's work product. They failed to compensate him for his work. As a result, Diddy and all these defendants and record companies, etc., record labels, etc., were all unjustly enriched by the expense or at the expense of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones attempted to work with Combs to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the Love album. Mr. Combs only offered Mr. Jones $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, and 9 songs that made it to the Love album. Ironically, Rod was willing to take $50,000, his publishing and royalties. Mr. Combs, self-serving Combs' self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Mr. Jones an additional $21,000. Now, what's crazy is, let's be real. Now, I wish that these lawsuits came out during a time that, I wish, I'm sorry, not this lawsuit, or actually, I wish the Cassie lawsuit came out before he started working with Diddy. Okay. But he was working with Diddy while she was working on filing this paperwork. If he had seen this paperwork, I'm telling you right now, he would not have worked with this guy. Oh, he has screwed many people over. He has a history of being this, that, and the third. I guarantee. And like I said, if this is any of this is true, because I feel like this part, the rights, the publishing rights, the royalties, the money that he feels is that he is due. Okay, I believe that is real. This is the realest part of this lawsuit right here. Working his ass off, and he got no compensation for that. He hasn't seen not one red cent for that. Hell yeah, I'd be pissed off too. But if I knew Cassie's story before this album was about to even get started, I wouldn't have taken the job, because there is conversation about Diddy being a shiesty mother lover behind closed doors, screwing people over, threatening other people's lives because they want that particular beat, screwing people over their royalties or their publishing rights, etc. This is not a good human being. So this part, yeah, I think the only screwing that Diddy did with this guy that I feel is the most real right now is the money. That's the part that I think is the most. He screwed him hard right here. This is SA financially, though. He financially SA'd the dude. I will say that, okay? But all this other stuff may not be real, okay? And again, look at this. As you see, 12, the footnotes here. Mr. Gooding Jr. has a storied history of SAing and forcibly touching individuals against their will. Let's take a look at that really quick. Skadoosh, okay? Splat out, okay? Sued for SA battery in 2 new lawsuits, okay? And this was of November of 2023. So, I mean, we can all sit here and agree that, it's a bad situation to be in. Okay. That's a bad situation to be in, especially just getting to know that, working with Diddy, and Diddy's still got these guys that have like tarnished pasts and tarnished history. It's no bueno, y'all. Straight up no bueno. But let's continue on though, because there's more. There's most definitely more. Okay. This is what's so sad about artists, y'all. They will risk the young ones, the young and hungry ones. They'll do everything. They will risk everything for a shot, right? And then they still get screwed over. It's terrible. And then all these guys come back home from LA or New York or Chicago or Atlanta or wherever they end up meeting all these people, and they go, "Don't meet your heroes, man. Forget trying to be an artist and trying to be somebody who's going to change the world, in a sonic way. It's not worth it." I'm telling you right now, guys, it's terrible. Now, I know too many guys like that. Okay. But moving on, Mr. Combs' deceptive business practices became so bad that Mr. Jones was left with no choice other than to make a public plea on social media for Mr. Combs to pay him for his work, which we saw that video. Okay, he's put out 2 videos on IG, and of course he started a GoFundMe just so he can get some help legally as well. Okay, after publicly requesting that Mr. Combs do the right thing and pay him fairly, Mr. Jones received an onslaught of threatening messages from Stevie J, Love Records, A&R, DeForest Taylor, and it says it right here. Look at this. DeForest, this is DeForest line. You playing? I'm in the studio. Then there's I guess there's a audio thing that he left. LOL, you 100% liar and weirdo. Good luck. Number still same. Run into an N-word. Come talk to me in public on a public podcast and forum. This is him threatening. This is DeForest Taylor threatening Mr. Jones. So he used Diddy used his power, influence, and etc. to threaten and intimidate Lil Rod. So according to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs is very forceful and demanding. Mr. Combs does not take no for an answer and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on Mr. Jones if Mr. Jones did not comply with his demands. As detailed above, Mr. Combs threatened to eat his face. Okay. Another occasion, while standing in Mr. Combs' bathroom, Mr. Jones was forced to watch Mr. Combs display his weapons and bragged about getting away with hurting people with these type of firearms. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for this firefight that happened in a nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. Now, of course, Diddy's former bodyguard, all right, accuses rapper of snitching on Shine over 1999 situation. Interesting, right? Gene Deal, shout out to Gene Deal. That was Diddy's former bodyguard. As of late, Gene Deal has been all over in interviews with the Art of Dialogue to Vlad TV and all that. And shout out to those platforms for actually talking about these things and bringing these things up and bringing Gene Deal back to talk about these things. Circle back and talk about these things again. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the weapon into the club for him and passed him the pew after he got into an altercation with another individual. Because I was wondering if this was the actual gunfight that broke up J-Lo and Diddy. Remember that? I was like, is that the same one? And I didn't look it up. You know what I mean? I didn't look it up. But this is the same one that America's sweetheart at that time, America's Latina sweetheart, Jennifer Lopez, back then, this was tarnishing her name. This caused them to break up because of this firefight that happened in a club. Yeah, Jenny from a block. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Yes, back then. Not this. This is me now on Amazon Prime, which why did that happen? But moving on back into this, that's interesting that this is the story. So she was carrying the weapon for him. Okay. She was allegedly she was carrying the gun for him. Then he got into an altercation. He's like, "Give me the piece, girl." Yo, J-Lo. Yo, Jay. Give me that piece, girl. He took the piece and pow, pow, pow. And then America's sweetheart was not so America's sweetheart anymore. And then they broke up around that time too. And remember, in that time, she was like, you know what I mean? She had the cornrows and everything. Oh my God. She had the hip huggers and like she was big back then. Remember that? Soon as she had Diddy on her team, she was just suddenly like everything. Now she could drop the N-word. Remember that? Nobody remember that stuff? She dropped the N-word. With Ja Rule, baby. You know what I mean? Nobody remember this? She was feeling good with the cornrows and everything. Her love don't cost a thing. Ah, man. But hey, she had hits. She had hits. Let's continue. So this altercation was that time. Blame-o. Okay, what a handsome lady. That J-Lo. All right. My love don't cost a thing. And Ashanti was singing a lot of her songs for her. Okay, you guys heard that theory. Okay, that urban legend. Because J-Lo can't sing to save her life. She can't sing herself out of a paper bag, to be really honest. But yeah, waiting for tonight. Wow. Yeah, she had all these hits back then. Oh my God. The late 90s, early 2000s, there was so much like cultural appropriation with remember Fergie? I know there's a little bit of a left turn, but it's like London, London, London. Remember that? Do you remember Fergie? Okay. There was a lot of cultural appropriation going on at that time. Okay. It was pretty crazy. All right. Yeah, she was Selena's. She was Selena's. Anything for Selena's. And she was great in that because she didn't have to sing. Okay. She just had to wear the outfits and twirl. And that made every guy happy. Okay. And the story was good. All right. But remember Fergie? Yeah, that was some serious appropriation like a mother lover. But let's continue on. Okay. But there it is. They were the it couple for like a hot minute until she allegedly carried that piece for him and he went bow bow in the club. Okay. So the shooting in Chalice Recording Studios confirmed Diddy's statements. So these statements reinforced Mr. Jones' fear of Diddy and strengthened Diddy's domination and control over Jones. Jones was terrified of Diddy. He felt like he could not tell him no. Mr. Combs consistently made it clear that he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement. So yeah, I can make you never work in this town again, and I can also make you disappear, and ain't no one gonna be looking in my direction. I'm smooth like that. I'm fat like that. I'm cool like that. Okay, moving on. That's a deep cut as well. Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. And Fahim Muhammad, I'm quite curious about Fahim Muhammad. Let's keep it real. Yes, Stacy Galore from downtown. Yes, Diggable Planets. Okay, man. Come on, that's hip hop. Okay. But this guy Friday right here. Hi. My name is Saheed Muhammad. We'll be right back. You know what I mean? Apparently he's lethal. He can make people disappear. So Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they ever get pulled over by police in Miami or California. Upon information and belief, Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was hit at CRS. Remember that situation, that gunfight that happened in the restroom of the recording studio? Okay. LAPD was in CRS and witnessed the red in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that this situation of G occurred outside of the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within the law enforcement. Mr. Jones had no reason to disbelieve Mr. Combs, as he had seen firsthand through this situation with G and the subsequent silence of the LAPD and the media that Mr. Combs indeed had power to harm him. LAPD spent hours in CRS after this incident with G, yet there were no arrests. Mr. Jones witnessed the LAPD in the restroom pictured above, yet no arrests were made. The morning after this incident, Mr. Jones and several others arrived at CRS, and G's blood was still on the floor of the restroom. And Combs hired a cleaning crew to clean it up. That's interesting. So he's like, yo, this guy's that deep, and this Muhammad dude, he ain't one to mess with. He's connected. Like I said, he's sitting here going like, I can make your life a living hell. I can make you disappear, or I can blacklist you in this town, and you'll never be able to make a beat ever again for anyone. That's how powerful I am. Don't mess with me. Do as I say. S this D. Apparently. Snort this blow. S this D. Go to Booby Trap and get me some hookers. That's literally what he's saying. Moving on. Defendants of the record, all these record labels, okay, aided, abetted, and profited off of Sean Combs' RICO enterprise. Okay. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Grange, okay, Lucian, visiting Combs visiting Combs' home in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant Grange visited Mr. Combs at his homes, it would be in the evening, and he and Combs would disappear for hours in Combs' bedroom. Interesting. I wonder why they're in the bedroom. Funky dope loving. Maybe not. But anyway, defendant Grange sponsored and attended several Love album listening parties at Mr. Combs' home in Los Angeles, California. These parties were sponsored by defendants MR, LR, and UMG. As evidence above, these parties had S workers and littles present. During these parties, defendant Grange knew or should have known that Mr. Combs was spiking the attendees through laced bottles of tequila and Ciroc vodka. It's no secret that Mr. Combs had specific bottles of alcohol designated for the ladies and other bottles designated for his staff, his artists, and himself. This fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. As a sponsor of these events, defendant Grange had a duty and obligation to ensure that S workers and littles were not present and that Mr. Combs was not lacing these drinks with unthinkable types of things that would cause R. Okay? On YouTube channel, The Art of Dialogue, former bodyguard. By the way, Art of Dialogue is a great YouTube channel. You guys need to check it out. But former bodyguard Gene Deal exposed Mr. Combs, his mixing method. I got to use these words, okay? Used to spike cranberry juice and orange juice. According to Mr. Deal, Mr. Combs would place X and other DR types of chemicals in the juices. On YouTube, The Art of Dialogue, the former artist Mark Curry exposed Mr. Combs spiking Moet champagne bottles in the VIP of nightclubs. Mr. Combs would have a set of Moet champagne bottles for his artists and a set for women. Now, this is what's interesting. Hold on. Excuse me, guys. Let me take a little bit of a drink. What's interesting about this is that I've heard other stories as well where he would be extremely anal. Pun not intended, but he would be extremely obsessed about where his drinks were, who were actually serving his drinks, and all that stuff. I've heard many stories. I think even so, I think I remember Mark Curry actually talking about that. Like he was like, I think it was like I was on the set of a music video or a movie, and he was on that set, and he was very paranoid about who was giving him what kind of drink, where the ice was even being made. Like he was very OCD about how and where and who he was getting his drinks from. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he was sitting there doing the same thing here too, right? Just being very like, nah, I'm using my own ice. This is my own cup. This cup is never leaving my hand unless I see you pour this drink in my hand. This bottle is my bottle. Ain't nobody else in this bar or this club or in this area going to be touching this bottle except me. You see what I'm saying? And it could just be because of him always lacing things. Okay. He has a habit of doing this. And we've heard that story many a time. The writer has spoken with several former employees of Mr. Combs who witnessed defendant Karam instruct her staff to spike liquor bottles with X and other types of party favors. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Ethiopia H, visiting Combs' home in Miami and Los Angeles. According to Mr. Jones, whenever she was there, whenever she visited at his homes, it would be in the evening, and she and Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. That's weird too. Like I said, funky dumb loving. Or, they're just hitting the slopes, maybe, if you get what I'm saying. According to Mr. Jones, defendant Ethiopia H visited him, Diddy, at the CRS during this writing camp. All right. So Ethiopia sponsored and attended several Love album listening parties at his home in California. These parties were sponsored by defendants MR, LR, and UMG. As evidence above, these parties had S workers and littles present. During these parties, Ethiopia H knew or should have known that Mr. Combs was lacing attendees with bottles of tequila and Ciroc vodka. As a sponsor of these events, Ethiopia H had a duty and obligation to ensure that these S workers and underage or these littles were not present and that Combs was not spiking these drinks. According to Mr. Jones, during the 13 months he lived and traveled with Mr. Combs, he witnessed Mr. Combs display and distribute pew-pews from his bedroom closet in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, to questionable individuals dressed in all black. This is interesting. According to Mr. Jones, during the 13 months he lived and traveled with him, he witnessed Karam openly order her assistants to keep Mr. Combs high off gummies and pills. Defendant Karam required all employees, from the butler, the chef, to the housekeepers, to walk around with a pouch or a fanny pack filled with snow, GHB, ecstasy, Mary Jane gummies, okay, and Tukey, pink drug that is a combination of ecstasy and cocaine. I've never heard of that before in my life. That's a new one for me. But apparently there's a combo and it looks pink. That's weird. I've never heard of that. But they just showed it. That's what it looks like. It was important that defendant Curran defendant Curran to have Diddy to have his drug of choice immediately ready when he asks for it. So she ordered S workers and P words, okay, stoots, okay, prosts, let's just say that, for Mr. Combs. Defendant Curran ordered and distributed these various party favors in shrooms. Wow, let's not forget that too. To Diddy and his celebrity guests who were present on his rented yacht and in his homes in LA, New York City, and Miami. On multiple occasions, this assistant, okay, forced Rod to carry his pouch, Diddy's pouch, against his will. As the chief of staff, this Coram was instrumental in organizing and executing the RICO enterprise. Defendant Coram had the following individuals execute the following tasks for the RICO enterprise. Stevie J recruits S workers and attends and participates in freak-offs. Says right here, we have video down here. It says in the footnotes 19, we have a video of Mr. Combs, Stevie J, and plaintiff Jones at a club. Mr. Combs is recording the video while coaching and training plaintiff Jones how to recruit the S workers. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But moving on, Justin Combs, the son, solicits prosts, underage, littles, S workers would engage in these freak-offs as well. Brendan Paul works as his mule. He acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' party favors and his pew-pews. Interesting. And his weapons. That's very interesting. That is Brendan Paul right here, the white guy. He'd be the link. He's the plug, y'all. Yeah, Justin Combs would be involved in these FOs. Straight up. That's crazy to me. Frankie Santella works alongside Brendan. Okay, while Brendan acquires and distributes, okay, Frankie carries the money and pays for those things. Moy Bond hires S workers, attends and participates in FOs. Then that's Moy Bond. That's interesting. Mr. Combs funded and used his affiliation with local gangs and gang leaders who would frequent his homes in LA, Miami to secure chemicals or party favors and weapons he obtained and distributed out of his homes in LA and Miami. Defendants executed their RICO enterprise with threats of violence, threatening to eat the plaintiff's face, displaying and distributing weapons in the plaintiff's presence, bragging about having law enforcement under control, bragging about unaliving people, and bragging about bribing witnesses and jurors in the criminal case concerning the 1999 New York City nightclub situation with Shine and J-Lo. Defendants executed their RICO enterprise with threats of isolation from the music and entertainment industry, parading powerful music industry executives such as defendants Grange, Ethiopia H, at his parties filled with S workers, minors, and illegal party favors, such as all these that I've said a million times before. Defendants executed their RICO enterprise with threats of non-payment for work completed, fake promises of cash payments, $250,000, a producer of the year Grammy Awards, and guaranteed access to future projects, and a $20 million home on Star Island in Miami. Mr. Combs is allowed to wreak havoc. So while living and traveling with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones discovered that Mr. Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his homes. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs has recordings of defendants Lucian Charles Grange, Ethiopia H, as well as other celebrities, music label executive, politicians, and athletes. Upon information and belief, these individuals were recorded without their knowledge and consent, and as is the case with the man-on-man tape of Stevie J that Diddy provided to Rod. He possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended his freak-off parties or even his house parties. Upon information and belief, due to this treasure trove of evidence he has in his possession, Mr. Combs believes that he is above the law and is untouchable. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs employs Jose Cruz as his IT director. This writer has spoken to several former employees of Mr. Combs who confirmed that Jose Cruz is the gatekeeper of all of Mr. Combs' recordings. Upon information and belief, Jose Cruz intentionally hides behind the camera and from social media and the internet due to all the incriminating acts, he was required to record for Mr. Combs. Here's a screenshot of his name and his number, I guess his contacts. All right. This is crazy. So Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and realleges them as if set forth fully herein. So, as a respondent superior, all of these defendants are 100% liable for the actions of Sean Combs, Justin Combs, and KK, as they were acting in their capacities as the respondent superior collectives, employees, when they committed the acts detailed below. The respondent superior collective failed to adequately monitor, warn, or supervise the actions of Sean Combs, Justin Combs, and KK. Defendants are individuals and are entities within the meaning of person as defined in blah blah blah. The association is composed of all of these people and of these record labels as well. And I'm going to move on through all of this. Because this is all pretty much like repeating the same stuff that we just talked about before. Distributing the purchasing of firearms and of party favors, etc. You know, it's just a lot of that stuff, a lot of RICO stuff. So let me continue on. Okay, so they're saying that there was acts of mail fraud in violation of 18 USC, whatever, but defendants voluntarily and intentionally devised and participated in a scheme to defraud plaintiffs out of money in reliance on the mail. Defendants committed these acts with the intent to defraud Plaintiff Jones and the artists, creatives, musicians, and producers. Defendants used the mail for the purpose of executing the fraudulent scheme herein. Specifically, defendants agreed to each of the acts of mail fraud described throughout this complaint. In addition, defendants agreed to rely on the mail to secure wire frauds, cash, payments from purchasers of the illegal firearms, and party favors. Defendants required others to sell and distribute. It's crazy. So he's saying, like, I saw all of this stuff. I saw all this stuff when they were doing this, and this, when they were buying stuff, when they were selling stuff. This all was coming out of his homes, and he was involved in all this. And the people that work for him, not even just his assistant, because, you know, KK is basically his assistant, for crying out loud. That's like his personal assistant, glorified personal assistant. He's saying beyond that, people that were that were working as CEOs and other heads of other record labels and all that, being involved in all this as well. That's insane to me, guys. Okay. Defendants committed multiple acts of wire fraud in violation of 18 USC. Okay, so I'll just read this first paragraph. Defendants voluntarily and intentionally devised and participated in a scheme to defraud plaintiff out of money in reliance on the mail again. Defendants committed these acts with the intent to defraud plaintiff Jones and the artists, creatives, musicians, and producers. Okay. This is crazy. Okay. Second cause of action, SASH. So Mr. Jones incorporates by reference all preceding paragraphs and realleges them as if set forth herein. As described above, Diddy frightened and placed Rod in apprehension of harm when he physically and SA'd him from October 2022 for a full year. Okay, from October to October, back to back, cover to cover. In his homes, which were New York, Miami, the Virgin Islands, and in Los Angeles. He forcibly grabbed him, attempted or threatened to touch him in intimate areas, or touched him, or touched his own body parts. Okay, or touched the plaintiff with his own intimate body parts. Sorry, guys. But Mr. Combs violently gripped and palmed his, like I said, his backside, all right, and crotch without consent, all right. He forced him to work in his bathroom. Like, this is a lot of the same things, okay. But he was forced to work in the studio while he was stripped naked to get his body massaged. Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to work while Mr. Combs walked around butt naked. As a result of his conduct, Combs' conduct, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer harm, including physical injury, severe emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and other consequential damages for which he is entitled to an award of monetary damages and other relief. The conduct of Diddy, described above, was willful, wanton, and malicious. At all relevant times, Diddy acted with conscious disregard for Rod's rights, feelings, acted with the knowledge of or with reckless disregard for the fact that his conduct was certain to cause injury and or humiliation to Rod, and intended to cause fear, physical injury, and or pain and suffering to plaintiff, to Rod. By virtue of the foregoing, Rod is entitled to recover punitive damages. All right. So now this is all the stuff about emotional distress. And this one's, of course, talking about the shooting that happened with G. Okay. And it says, as detailed below or above, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones was 2 feet away from G as either the Diddy's son or Diddy actually shot him multiple times in the restroom of CRS. As detailed above, Mr. Jones was the only individual that aided G as he laid on the bathroom floor in a fetal position, bleeding out. As detailed above, Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs and Jay Combs, the son, orchestrated a cover-up and through Fahim Muhammad lied to the LAPD and forced Mr. Jones and all the other attendees of the writers' camp to lie to the police as well. And of course, they say that both of them knew that they actually shot G in the restroom, and that G was shot as he was leaving the studio. Of course, they say that these two's intentional deception caused a delay in G receiving immediate medical care, as the ambulance parked 3 blocks away from CRS out of fear that there was an active tragedy going on. Mr. Jones had to run down the block and convince them that the shooting had ended. These events traumatized Mr. Jones. S.A. Okay. Against Jane Doe, Young Miami's cousin. All right. Mr. Jones incorporates by reference, okay, blah, blah, blah. As described above, Jane Doe 1 frightened and placed plaintiff in an apprehension of harm when she physically SA'd him on Thanksgiving Day 2022 in Mr. Combs' home. Jane Doe forcibly touched and attempted and or threatened to touch Rod in his intimate areas, touched him with her own private parts. Jane Doe used her mouth and performed oral, okay, on him while he was, see, this is the thing, while he was urinating in the restroom. That's interesting. Okay. It's, hey, you know, if you're into water sports, you're into water sports, but hey, interesting. Plaintiff fought her off while Mr. Combs and his associates sat outside loudly laughing. That's an interesting piece of information that they didn't say before. So they were standing outside the bathroom, knowing what was going on, and they were just laughing profusely, having a grand old time while she was sitting there trying to rock his mic. Interesting. Hold on. Yes, I did see that. Per. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now Tiffany Red is suing Diddy now too. Yes, and she's been speaking out like crazy as well. Now she's sitting here saying something about like SA and maybe not SA, but like I think I need to look it up. I want to go through this. I'm going to try to blaze through the rest of this because a lot of this is just the same old stuff. But it's interesting that in the paperwork they tell you more information, like the fact that they were outside the restroom laughing, you know, while he's sitting there trying to take a leak and she's trying to mess with his manhood. I mean, that's just very interesting. You know, that's pieces of information that's interesting. Okay. Jane Doe then followed Mr. Jones outside of the bathroom and began undressing in front of Mr. Combs and his associates, straddled Mr. Jones and attempted to have forced adult activities with him. That's interesting. As a result of her conduct, he suffered and continues to suffer harm, including physical injury, severe emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and other consequential damages for which he is entitled to an award of monetary damages and other relief. Okay? And they're saying that she's also she didn't care about his well-being. There was a no regard for him, okay? And what he went through. Again, another one, premises liability for the SA committed by Jane Doe. Of course, we already know this was done in Miami, Thanksgiving. The Combs was present when Mr. Jones was being SA'd by Jane Doe. Jones was legally on the premises as a guest and invitee of Mr. Combs. Jane Doe 1 was legally on the premises as a guest. He owned the premises and had dominion and control over the premises where Mr. Jones was harmed. Mr. Combs had dominion and control over the actions of Jane Doe 1 and failed to step in and stop Jane Doe from SAing Mr. Jones. As the owner of the property, he had a duty to protect Mr. Jones from the harm he suffered at the hands of Jane Doe 1. Mr. Combs breached his duty when he failed to stop Jane Doe from SAing Mr. Jones. In furtherance of this breach, Mr. Combs was laughing and encouraging Jane Doe to continue her of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones has suffered immensely because of Mr. Combs' intentional breach of his duty to him. That's interesting. And I get it. If you're in there and you see all this stuff and you're not doing anything about it, that's crazy, right? But now I still wonder. Now it's still me wondering how much of this is actually true. You feel me? How much of this is true? How much of this is fake news, right? But this goes on to Cuba Gooding Jr. now. All right. Same thing. Okay. He was present. Combs was there when Cuba put his hands on Rod. He was a guest and an invitee. Okay. This is what Cuba was. Mr. Combs had dominion control over the actions of Mr. Mr. Gooding Jr. and failed to step in and stop Cuba from SAing Mr. Jones. Okay, same thing. Now, the Trafficking and Victims Protection Acts. So all of these defendants knowingly and intentionally participated in, perpetrated, assisted, supported, facilitated a trafficking venture that was in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce together and with others in violation of this code. Among other things, all of these defendants, including Combs Global, knowingly and intentionally recruited, enticed, provided, obtained, advertised, and solicited by various means Mr. Jones, as well as other class members, knowing that defendants, Sean Combs and the rest, would use means of force, threats of force, fraud, coercion, and a combination of such means to cause Mr. Jones, as well as others, some of whom were under the age of 17, to engage in commercial acts. I mean, man, it's just crazy. Excuse me, guys. So the thing is like all of this, okay? Because I mean, there's so many, right? So many pieces to this, right? And it just keeps saying the same thing. Like, of course, there's one that's against Jane Doe. There's things against, Young Miami's cousin. There's things against Diddy. I mean, a lot of this is against Diddy. But if you notice, like a lot of it is kind of the same things over and over again. But of course, it's just a different lawsuit, right? It's a different filing, right? Not only did he do this, but he also did that. He's liable for this because this was his private domicile. He owned the house. He was there. He was witness to this whole thing, and he didn't even do anything. He didn't put his foot down, being the owner of the house, being the runner of things, saying what basically being the owner of the house and saying like, hey, stop trying to wrap your lips around this guy's banana. Okay. Get your hands off the dude. Get out of the bathroom. He's not comfortable with this. You know what I mean? He didn't go in there and get in the middle of the conversation. Get in the middle of the situation. You see what I'm saying? That's big. You know what I mean? That's big. But there's a lot of allegations in here. Okay? And all of this is just other fluff and stuff. Okay, but all the juicy stuff we basically read through. All right. All the juicy-ish we went through. Okay. And a lot of it's pretty crazy. I mean, we went through 40-something pages of stuff. I mean, there's a lot. Out of the 73. I mean, the 73 is like the kind of the same thing over and over and over again, just basically saying like, like I said, not only did he violate this, but did he also violated that? And then you know what I mean? On top of that same incident, he did this wrong. And so we're suing him for this and that. And it just keeps going down and down and down. So that's all of it right there. For the most part. I mean, then you get into the really like real technical stuff, right? Hold on, I'm just seeing. just pulling this up to see if it's here. But nonetheless, I mean, it is, all of this has been pretty wild. And I mean, and you see all this, like you get we're getting all the information. We of course are trying to process everything. Yes, it's really easy for us to sit here and poke fun or look at it in an inquisitive eye, or with an inquisitive eye. And that's why I'm saying I think it's incredibly important that we do end up doing that, because at the end of the day, we don't know what is fully true. We don't know what's the truth. We don't know what's a bold-faced lie. With this situation, it is very easy for us to instantly think that this guy is just trying to get money because he didn't get his money for producing or what he claims to have produced on this album. Is this somebody who's just riding on the coattails of what has been said before, but he's just adding new names to make it even more salacious, to make it seem like it's more legit? Is he using the fact that you have somebody like Cuba Gooding Jr., who has a history of not really being able to keep his doggone hands to his doggone self to his advantage, to add him into this lawsuit? See, I mean, even for myself, if I were Cuba Gooding Jr. and I'm having a bad time with all these allegations and whatnot, you would not see me hanging out with anyone with the likes of Diddy. But you also got to remember, when did these encounters happen with Cuba and Diddy? They most definitely did not happen after Cassie filed that information, that lawsuit. I guarantee you that. Now, there could be a thing where he heard stories about Diddy, but for me, I'd be very concerned about who I'm running with, who I'm rocking with out here in these streets. In fact, I'd probably become a recluse and be just, you wouldn't see me. I'd just be in my home, holed up in my home, and keeping my mouth shut and trying to stay around people that have clean, good images, because I'd hate for myself to be lumped into a situation again for doing something and say that I didn't even do it. Say I'm innocent. You see what I'm saying? Say I didn't do a damn thing. I'm just putting my arm around the dude and saying I'm vibing his music. This guy is talented, and I thought this was a candid photo. Now it's being used in a lawsuit. And what sucks is instantly people are going to go, yep, he did that. What if he didn't? What if Cuba didn't do anything with this time? This time. Every other time, fine. But this time, what if he didn't do a damn thing, y'all? You see what I'm saying? It's just interesting. So you got those people, and I feel like any person that has ever crossed Diddy's path right now in the past should be worried, because there are people out here, there are really evil people out here that are going to go out of their way to say whatever they can to try to get them involved, get them thrown into the group chat. It's like, yo, why am I in this group chat, man? I don't want to be a part of this. I was just at a party. One party. No freak offs went on. I had a drink. I shook some people's hands. I met a producer kid, talented guy, and I took my black ass home. How am I being thrown into this group chat? And I think that's the sad part. Any person that's been in association with him, boom, it's going to be in trouble. You got C Breezy in there. You got Usher in there. You got Young Miami. You got Young Miami's cousin in there. You got Meek Mill in that thing. You got Stevie J in that piece. You got J-Lo even mentioned in this lawsuit as well. You got everybody. Like I said, everybody's in trouble. Because you know for a fact, now when you hear this, especially like things that happened 20 some odd years ago, like the J-Lo thing, now you got people going, yo, so she lied to the public? She lied to us. America's Latina sweetheart, right? She was like the Latina Julia Roberts for like 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she still is, I guess, to a certain extent, right? But like, now you got people gonna be mad because they're like, yo, so she just lied. She just bold-faced lied to us, y'all. And we've been consuming and watching all her stuff, thinking that she could do no wrong. We look past the fact that she can't sing herself out of a paper bag. We still support this woman, and she lied to us for this long. We avert our eyes with her marrying Ben Affleck, and the countless rom-com movies that she does. We still watch them, but all the while, 20 years ago, she lied to us. Like I said, he threw everyone under the bus. Everybody's in trouble. Dag nabbit. That's crazy, right? And yeah, B12, I agree. She's a good performer. She's just not a singer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. You know, like Dua Lipa, not sitting here saying that I like her music, but she has a nice voice. She's got a nice sounding voice, but don't ever see her live. She's... You know what I mean? Seeing her live is kind of boring. She doesn't dance. She's not a performer. She's got a nice voice, though. She sounds good on the records. You see what I'm saying? There's some people out here. Okay. Taylor Swift. She shouldn't be dancing. I know somebody's going to be mad at me about that. But Taylor Swift shouldn't be dancing, guys. Okay? But she's... doing her thing. No disrespect. She got bangers. I'll tell you that. She got some songs, man. Shoot. She got some songs out here. Okay. But she shouldn't be dancing. Like, no. She shouldn't be dancing. Okay? She shouldn't. No. Just play the piano, strum the guitar, sing your songs. It just doesn't work for me. Okay? Somebody mad at me. Don't be mad at me, okay? Okay, don't be mad. I mean, I get it. She got to move. She got to do her thing because there's a lot of people that love her music, and she's letting it go. But at the same time, like I said, she's got songs. She's got bangers. People put her on this pedestal, right? People are butt crazy in love with her, okay? But she should never dance. She needs to stop. But that's the thing. There's some people who are talented singers, terrible dancers. Great dancers, terrible singers. Paula Abdul. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. You can't have it all. You just can't have it all. And that's totally fine with me. Okay? But then, the songs, like they don't dance very well, but it's a good dance song. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's why you have the dance background singers. Just sing the song, saunter up, saunter in between them, walk in and out of it. You know what I mean? That's all you need to do. Dance, walk to the beat, strut, saunter to the beat, hold that microphone and sing with confidence. That's all you need to do. And just weave in and out of your dancers. That's why they're all there. Scantily clad, they're there to avert the eyes, to make you look like you're an incredible entertainer. We all know what the thing is all about. Come on now. You do like one move, with the group. They're like, oh my God, she can dance. You see what I'm saying? And then you move the F on, right? And you saunter in and out and you sing the song. Don't dance. If you can't dance, don't lean on it. Okay? But if you can dance, but you're not a great singer, then you'd better dance your freaking ass off on that stage. You feel me? If you can do both, then good luck to you. Good luck to you. Okay? That's an amazing thing that you can do both. If you can. If you're like that triple threat. Good on you. Okay? But back into this really quick. Everybody's in trouble because there's a lot of people that were thrown, a lot of names were thrown in this mug. Okay? A lot of names were thrown in this mug that didn't even need to be thrown in. Like, I'm telling you right now, I forgot about Cuba. I'm really going to be, I'm like, oh yeah, him. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, he's back. He ain't dead. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying I forgot. I forgot he even existed. On God. But now he's getting slid back into the group chat, and I'm like, damn, with Diddy, I'm sorry. Bad look. Okay? Bad look. So he really needs to think twice. Okay? Same thing with Stevie J, same thing with every other person that's been sprinkled in. The other thing too is, everybody's been having the speculations around Usher. Even C Breezy, like Chris Brown, that's an odd one for me. Him being added into the chat. That's a little bit of a disjointed situation, just to me. Because I know that Chris Brown has been very careful on who he rides with, careful on where he shows up, and the people that he rocks with, and the family, the people he considers family, and the people that he trusts. He's extremely, extremely careful and very picky on the people he rocks with. So him showing up to a Diddy thing, I don't know. I don't know if he would. But like I said, I mean, anything's possible with this stuff. This whole thing transpired or went down over a year. A lot can happen in a year. A lot of events happen in a year. So maybe maybe this is true. Maybe this is true, and we just gotta wait to see how Diddy reacts to it. Because I'm very curious to see what happens with the lawsuit. If he's going to nip it in the bud, right? If he's going to settle, or if he's going to just fight it out. I have a feeling he's going to fight it out because he has nothing else to lose now. Well, actually, he has more to lose now, more than ever. And if he was to settle outside of court, that'll become public knowledge, and everybody will be like, yo, this dude is worse than what we thought of after him settling with Cassie. You see what I'm saying? Which, even by the way, how do you get lower than that? That's actually another question I have in my mind too. How do you go lower than that? Let me show you guys this though. Let's take a look at this. Songwriter Tiffany Red. So she says, okay, corroborated allegations Cassie made against Diddy lawsuit. Now, this is from 2023, December of 2023. So I am trying to see, I think that there's another. Yep, she filed a lawsuit. Allegedly, she filed a lawsuit. I want to see what it says here. Hmm. Hold on. Let me get this. Hopefully it's not super long. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. 1 second. This is something that has to do with Tiffany Red, and allegedly she is suing Diddy, which she has a lawsuit coming out as well. So let's take a look at this video. This is Tiffany Red, everybody. And this is from her IG. I'm not going to play this whole doggone thing, but...
And against Sean Diddy Combs, and obviously, y'all know what's going on. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a new lawsuit filed yesterday by Rodney Jones against Sean Diddy Combs and countless other people. And I've gotten a lot of media requests. I've gotten a lot of DMs from the community. I've gotten a lot of questions. And so I thought I would just share it here because I don't plan on doing any interviews. I don't plan on doing any, I don't want to. I'm exhausted with this because I've been dealing with this behind the scenes since December for myself. Oh, it was filed yesterday. Sorry. One of my friends just texted me because she's watching. It was filed yesterday. And so I just thought I'd let the cat out the bag because I just can't take it anymore. And I'm tired of carrying this. I am suing Sean Combs too. I'm suing Sean Combs. I'm suing Interscope Records. I'm suing Bad Boy Entertainment. I'm suing Epic Records. And I don't know who else. I don't know if my lawyer is saying there's anybody else that's in there, but those are the people that I am suing.
She's taking everybody down.
I am suing for tortious interference, for all of the work that I have done that has been fucked because of all of this. Fucked. Let me put I'm back. Let's put my phone on Do Not Disturb. My work was fucked. It was derailed. I spent years working with Cassie. Years. The music is incredible. It's all fucked now. It's got all this nastiness all over it. I can't tell you what I felt like when I found out this is what was going on. I can't tell you what I felt like when I found out that my music was playing in the background, that the reason why this nigga called me emotional singing bitch is because he was listening to a demo of me singing while he was doing God knows what with my fucking friend. I have been dealing with this shit since 2015. This has been some of the most traumatizing and terrifying moments in my fucking life. And to watch the world cackle and joke and people sending memes back and forth and all y'all in my DMs like, Tiff, did you see this? Like I'm fucking blind. Like I didn't just sit on NBC and speak with Chloe about my experiences. Are y'all fucking kidding me? So cat's out the bag. I'm suing too. That's why I haven't been answering your questions. You want to know why I haven't been in LA? You want to know why Tiffany Red is not outside doing 100%er activations? Because I don't feel safe.
Real quick, I am still kind of curious, and I don't mean to sound. Here it is. Bless me with this second here. And I mean this with all the love in my heart because, you know, I'm still kind of new. Like I haven't heard about Tiffany Red in a while. Okay. Except when she said something about Beyonce just a little bit ago. I think it was like a few weeks ago. She said something about writing and, you know, making music for other artists and them knocking your name off of the music or the songs that you actually wrote for them and all that. But aside from that, yeah, I actually saw that piece. She had some things to say, which was very surprising and also not surprising at the same time because this is the music industry and people like to take full credit on things. Shoot, it's the entertainment business. A lot of people take credit for things that you wrote or produced or whatever, and just scratch your name right off of the list. But why is she suing Diddy? That's the one thing I'm still kind of trying to figure out here. What's the reason why she's suing Diddy? Is it because the music that she produced for Cassie may not have seen the light of day and that's why she's suing him? That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out, right? Is she a victim as well of his SAing, SH, etc.? Or is she suing for something completely different? That some say, does she have grounds to sue? That's the one thing I'm wondering. But let me Let me see what's up. And somebody just said, Groovy Nikki just said, I think he's blackballing her out of the industry. And if that's the case, then yeah, I would sue the hell out of him too if that was the case. But it'd be very, very hard. That's the thing. It's like, would that be a defamation lawsuit of some sort? And we already heard, even with that JDAH trial that we saw, it can be very difficult to prove said defamation, him actually blackballing her, right? So hopefully she has actual proof. But let's hear what she got to say. Let's hear the rest.
That's why. Because I don't want to endanger my team, the people around me. LA, are you kidding? New York, are you kidding? How is it safe for me the moment that I speak up? I just got a DM from Chalice for posting, trying to accuse me of defamation for my last post. That was a post of fucking Billboard. That was a post of some shit that was filed in a lawsuit yesterday. That's public domain. Fuck y'all. I will not be intimidated. I will not be intimidated. You ain't gonna sue me for shit because I ain't do shit. And I don't believe y'all neither. I don't believe you. Your story don't make sense. You know how many times I've worked at Chalice? You gotta buzz the front door. Then you gotta buzz the next door. Then you gotta ask somebody what session you going through. You think that somebody can just run in who's just got shot? That shit don't even make no fucking sense. Explain all the blood in the bathroom. Explain it. Explain it. I'm not defaming nobody.
Hold on. The way I'm gathering this, does she not believe Lil Rod's lawsuit? That's one thing I'm curious about as well. Does she not believe? Does she not believe Lil Rod's lawsuit? Because the conversation about him running in what she just said about the running into Chalice recording studios, right? If you got to do all that work, is she saying, I don't believe her, or I don't believe that part? I'm just curious. Yeah, because that's interesting. Because the whole pew pew with G happened allegedly inside the studio, and where all the red was, where all the blood was found in a bathroom. Okay. So for those of y'all who are late to the party, there was an incident apparently inside of a studio. G was apparently having an altercation between Diddy and Diddy's son, Diddy's eldest son. Apparently, according to Lil Rod, there was a shooting that happened inside the studio. And then they were in the bathroom. They found him in the bathroom leaking out. So then Rod, the plaintiff, went in there and helped him, basically. And then they took him outside, and then they made this whole lie, making it seem like it was a drive-by altercation. And he was hit and shot at outside, not inside, so that they wouldn't put any blame, or so that Diddy or Diddy's son wouldn't catch any charges. So it almost sounds like I'm going to roll that back a little bit, but it sounds like she's going about access inside the studio. It sounded like she's like, he's lying, but then you guys are saying, Sid is saying she's agreeing with Rod. So I'm going to play that one more time.
This has been some of the most traumatizing and terrifying moments in my fucking life. And to watch the world cackle and joke and people sending memes back and forth and all y'all in my DMs like, Tiff, did you see this? Like I'm fucking blind. Like I didn't just sit on NBC and speak with Chloe about my experiences. Are y'all fucking kidding me? So cat's out the bag. I'm suing too. That's why I haven't been answering your questions. You want to know why I haven't been in LA? You want to know why Tiffany Red is not outside doing 100% her activations? Because I don't feel safe. That's why. Because I don't want to endanger my team, the people around me.
Gotcha.
LA? Are you kidding? New York? Are you kidding? How is it safe for me the moment that I speak up? I just got a DM from Chalice for posting, trying to accuse me of defamation for my last post. That was a post of fucking Billboard. That was a post of some shit that was filed in a lawsuit yesterday. That's public domain. Fuck y'all. I will not be intimidated. I will not be intimidated. You ain't gonna sue me for shit because I ain't do shit. And I don't believe y'all neither. I don't believe you. Your story don't make sense.
There we go.
You know how many times I've worked at Chalice? You gotta buzz the front door. Then you gotta buzz the next door. Then you gotta ask somebody what session you going through. You think that somebody can just run in who's just got shot? That shit don't even make no fucking sense.
Okay.
Explain all the blood in the bathroom.
Now I get it. Now I get it. Thank you guys. I had a question that it just seemed odd. It just seemed odd when I first hearing it the first time around. So thank you guys for letting me go through that really quick. So yeah, she's sitting there going, nah, y'all are lying, making it sound like, oh, he just ran into the bathroom after he got hit in a drive-by. No, you laying out on the floor, on the street, on the sidewalk, real talk. You are not trying to buzz 15 different times and then find yourself in the bathroom. There's just no way. I'm sorry. You just don't. I would not have any patience to buzz through 2 different doors and then talk to the front desk and then go run into the bathroom leaking out. That's just ridiculous.
Explain it. Explain it. I'm not defaming nobody. All the media that's reaching out, stop reaching out to me. I'm not doing no interviews about Puff. I'm exhausted with talking about Puff. I've been talking about Puff since the end of last year. I'm sick of it. This is not my life. This is not the shit. I didn't do none of this shit. But now I'm stuck in this fuck shit. Supposed to not say shit. Fuck that. Fuck that. Because I didn't do nothing but fucking write records that are fucking incredible. That are fucking incredible. And what did these niggas do? Waste my fucking time. Waste my talents. Throw me away. And y'all expect me to be fucking quiet? You want an interview? This is my life. In real life. That's Lil Rod's life. In real life. That's Cassie's life. In real life.
Let me just say something real quick. Man, aside from these lawsuits, what she's feeling right now, I believe, is what a lot of artists feel when they get screwed over. This is yes, it's her scared for her life. It's her having to deal with powerful entities out here that feel some type of way, right? You know, like that feel like they can do anything they want because they basically fought their way to the top, or they cheated their way to the top, or they did dirty and they continue to do dirty to people. Okay. Man, she's echoing so much what a lot of artists of all genres that had a chance at the brass ring but got screwed over and got pushed over to the side feel inside of them right now as we speak. I wouldn't be surprised if this wakes up other people as well, other artists and whatnot, that are just tired of being screwed over and just can't take it anymore. She just said a whole bunch right there in those 30 seconds. It's real. Like, all my talent, all my efforts, all my bop, and my stuff is fire, and I'm giving it to them, and then they're sitting there, they're promising me the world. They're saying, you're up next, you next, you next. but then they end up giving it to somebody else. The next is somebody else. Sure, you make a little bit of money, but you don't make as much money as you thought you would. Like I said, a lot of people dedicate their whole lives to this profession and end up dying, losing their lives, sacrificing their life for their art, and still don't even get the recognition that they rightfully deserve. It's sad, but man, it's crazy how much this is resonating in me right now.
And all this shit y'all doing on the internet is putting everybody in danger. I'm not outside because it's dangerous. You tell me who else gets to be accused of all kind of this kind of shit that ain't gonna get picked up and be in jail already? What did George Floyd die for? Some fake ass money. That's all it took. And all of this nigga still outside. And y'all want me to come to meetings? Y'all want me to go do shit? Are you fucking serious?
Zoom. Use that Zoom. FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, phone calls. That's what I would say. I'd be like, yo, we could Zoom. Like, I don't trust nobody. But if you want to talk to me, we can Zoom.
This is not a drill. This is real. This is real life.
It's terrifying, y'all.
I'm exhausted with this shit, y'all. I am exhausted with this shit. And I'm so hurt. And I'm so sad. I can't believe I'm about to cry on the internet. But I'm so hurt and I'm so sad because for the last 4 years, all I've been trying to do is make this shit better. This is the reason why I quit. Y'all ask me why I don't write songs anymore.
Yeah.
This is why. This shit has made me want to kill myself. I'm fighting suicidal ideations as we speak because this is no way to live. This is no way to live.
No, it's not.
I just wanted to do records. I just wanted to write songs. I did not sign up for this shit. I was not raised like this. I don't want to do the drugs. I don't want to fuck.
Can I just... We're not done yet. She's got like a little bit less than 2 minutes, but I just have to say, like, but see, that's the problem. We see all these artists that are out here that make all the buku, or at least what we see at face value. They get the fame, they get the name out there. It's it's mulatto, or it's the Nicki Minaj's, it's the Cardi B's, it's the whatnots. You see what I'm saying? Oh, they're getting all the love, they're getting all the attention, right? And the thing is that a lot of these people are just doing what they feel like they need to do to be a part of the in crowd. And it's like I've said before, it's like, listen, I'm not sitting here saying that we can't have a good time and have a few drinks and kick it and blah, blah, blah. But why does it always have to turn into hard drugs? Why does it always have to turn into these heavy chemicals, heavily dangerously addictive chemicals to prove that you are down? What about integrity? What about artistry? And what about a person who's actually a good person? What happened to that? I said this in another show. You know, when we were talking about Wendy Williams. Y'all called in, y'all put in your 2 cents in and all that. And I'm like, why does it always end up being the assholes that get the brass ring? What about the good people that do right by others, that want to write great songs, that want to create art, and that's all they want to do? Not be all messed up and on X and shrooms and snow and all this crap. Why can't it just be the regular guy or girl that is just talented getting the recognition and the success that they rightfully deserve? Why are the gatekeepers all so hopped up on God knows what that they don't even know what day it is? They don't know what is up, what's down. They don't even know the difference between good and evil. Why is that? And these are our icons. These are the people that we lift and post on a pedestal going, man, you know, he making changes in the world, bro. He ain't doing nothing. He's being accused of God knows what right now. And then some. Like I said, I see all these guys that are out here that are making, you know, they're making their money. They're driving, they're in on their yachts and they're driving these fast cars and they got their gorgeous women and the money and all that, everything that aesthetically is acceptable on the social medias. And I keep wondering, I'm like, man, you did some dirty to get there. You did something unholy to get there. You know, even take that out. Take out religion. I'm just saying. You had to sell yourself to get there. And it wasn't because you were talented. It was because you were willing to do whatever it took. That's a huge difference between talent and someone who's willing to just be at that devilish place at that devilish time, willing to do that devilish-ish. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And I'm not trying to be all like getting into the Illuminati, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to get all into that. But all I'm saying is there's just some really crazy stuff out here. And I'm wondering, why aren't people like Tiffany, right? Tiffany Red getting the recognition and the shots at the brass ring like we all should be getting an opportunity at, right? Because we're good people. And I'm going to say this too. Why can't being a bad person be uncool for at least 5 minutes? I don't think that's ever existed. Even when they show, oh, you know, we're going to, this is a God-fearing person and no. Oh, I'm still a virgin. That kind of stuff. Remember that stuff in like the 90s and early 2000s? That BS, like Britney Spears, still a virgin, all that crap, right? And you know for a fact, all that stuff was lies. And they all had to do something dirty to get there too. And then look at Britney Spears. It's tragic. What about talent? Why can't talent just be cool for a second? Can we have that for 2 seconds? I'd love to see a world with that. Just for a second. That would be kind of fire.
You want to know why I don't got a bunch of hits for all y'all that are like, she ain't got no hits? Them hits was behind me laying on my back, bitch. That's why I don't got them records. Because I'm not willing to get fucked.
Damn. She said that.
Because I got a daddy that'll hurt you. And I care about my family. So I'm not going to put my family in that position. So I quit. The thing I love. The thing I'm amazing at. The thing that God blessed me with. We don't deserve this, y'all. There's so many people getting hurt just trying to make music that do not deserve this.
Man.
So there you have it. I'm suing Puff.
Damn.
I'm suing Interscope. I'm suing Epic. I'm suing Bad Boy for all the music that I have written for Cassie that was derailed. I'm suing for my career that they took from me, that I earned, that I worked for. And for all of y'all who don't have the courage to do what I'm doing, to do what Lil Rod is doing, to do what Cassie is doing, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with her on that. I mean, if you don't know what's going on, there's no reason for you to be coming in here and making, passing judgment and all that on them. And of course, but I will say this though too. I think that there's always going to be room for people wanting to ask questions because of everything that has presented themselves, right? You have breadcrumbs of Lil Rod not making any money allegedly from his hard work. He wants to get paid. So now all of a sudden this lawsuit comes out with all this stuff. It does make people want to ask questions. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with us asking those much needed questions. But I do feel what she's saying here. Absolutely. And I commend her and I applaud her for not willing to lay on her back, right? To sacrifice her own body so that she can have a chance at success in her passions, right? But for a fact, we've heard this countless times about with other artists that have been talking about things like this. We just heard that about Cassie. So for a fact that is a glimpse into some of the truths that actually happen to these female artists that want to get a chance at the brass ring. I know I keep saying the brass ring, but at a chance at celebrity, at a chance of becoming a star. It's not a far-fetched possibility of these people saying you got to jump through these hoops and you got to do these things and you got to perform these things and you got to be willing to do that and you got to be willing to be a dirty son of a gun, basically an industry hoe in a way, to get your song on the radio, to get your name out here and be known out here. That's tragic. And that's scary. And it's not only just with women, that's also with men, as we're starting to hear. Listen, we already heard about some of these things with Harvey W. in the movie realm. We heard about women speaking about having to perform certain things on him just to get a shot at an audition for some movie, right? We've heard things about Gwyneth Paltrow and other names, other big names that had to do certain things for Harvey to get a shot at an Oscar-worthy script or an Oscar-worthy role. We've heard these stories countless times. But the question is, when is it going to stop? When is that going to stop? We put all the power in the hands of these people, of these very, very bad individuals. And what's sad is the people that are on their way up to become the next CEO, the next movie or music mogul, whatever it may be, whatever genre, they're learning it from these snakes as well. So again, it's like this generational thing that just keeps trickling down. It gets worse and worse and worse every single time. And it gets even crazier. And think about this with Diddy, with these freak-offs. Do you think he really created those all by his lonesome? Or did he learn that from before, from somebody else? And then he just morphed it into his own thing. What are the possibilities of that? Or he could just be that creative, that addicted to those types of activities, that his appetite has grown that exponentially, okay, that elaborate to the point where it became the freak-offs that they are to this day. But there is a good possibility that he may have learned that from somebody else. Think about that for a second. Same thing with Harvey. And any other music, movie, entertainment executive that makes or breaks a person's career just by one single phone call. All of them get real hungry, or they get very, very drunk off their own power, and they just use people. And they use people that are the likes of talented individuals like Tiffany Red. And then some. But then you get all the big names. You get the big director names, you get the big writers, you get the big musicians, artists of our generation that are standing on top of the bodies, okay? The corpses of these other artists that literally sacrificed everything just to get one opportunity. And then what happens? The person that's standing on their body right now as we speak is actually the one that stole the song from them, or stole that money from them, or scratched their name off of the producer's rights, or the songwriter rights, or the script writer's rights, whatever it may be. And yet we still have people going, man, you know, he's so talented, looking at the big name. Man, think about his whole career going from here, and now he's on the Super Bowl. He's performing the halftime show. What a career. Wow. Think about all the people, all the artists that he's stomping on right now. Literally doing backflips and roller skating on right now as we speak. That's insane to me. That's terrifying. And like I said, let me say this too. I'm not trying to go after Usher. I'm just using Usher as an example. Because there's plenty of other artists out here that have just been, that are screwing very talented people over right now as we speak. The only thing that we have right now in our power, at least from what I've noticed, or at least from what I've learned, okay, is that one thing that we do have in our power to a certain extent is social media. We are starting to see artists that actually are getting recognition from independent platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. These comedians that would never get a shot, wouldn't even get a shot in Hollywood, are getting thrust, put up on pedestals, and are being revered as some of the funniest. Same thing with writers, musicians, singers, all that. But at the same time, that's still a shot in the dark. That's still, it's not like you're just, it's not like you're shooting fish in a barrel. It's still a lottery. You're still trying to win the lottery in that too. But you at least have a little bit of control over people actually hearing your stuff or not. Now with this, with Tiffany, really quick, I do want to say this. I mean, she has been making waves as of recently because of her talking about things, speaking on behalf of Cassie, getting behind her, having her back and all that. I'm hoping that she's making an album, because God knows people will sit there and go, okay, if you are that fire, so then where's that album? And I encourage her, this is the time to make that album. This is the time to drop that single. Let's keep it a buck. This is the time to get your name out there now, because people will really rock with you. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, manipulate, but I'm just saying this could be an opportunity for her to get her name out there and get the recognition and possibly the accolades that she rightfully deserves. And let the people, let social media make the decision whether her stuff is a bop or not. Forget the executives. Because as soon as they start consuming it, as soon as that record starts playing, next thing you know, those record executives are going to start calling her up and be like, yo, Tiffany, baby, trust, that's going to happen. But I don't blame her for suing Diddy. I don't. And I don't blame her for being terrified and scared right now. It is a scary time. Diddy's a very dangerous human being. She believes that. There's a lot of other people that believe it as well. And I believe it too. He's a dangerous individual. But when it comes to this Lil Rod, the allegations and whatnot, I have my questions. And I'm going to still continue asking those questions until I see what happens in the next few weeks with these court documents being out here. I'm interested to see if other people will corroborate his claims. I think that's the most important part. Also, the footage that he has. I'm curious about that too. How damning is that footage? Is it all red flags? Or is it just him just tilting the lens a little bit differently so it bends in his favor? I guess we're only going to find out as time continues. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. You know, this was a long one, but I appreciate you guys being here. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more, do some more things, get into more conversations and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for it. Please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, okay? We got some things we got to catch up on. Please go check out my secondary channel, all right? The Pascal Show clips. Go over there and subscribe. I just did a whole watch party yesterday on Nancy Grace's interview with Audrey Cunningham's mama. I thought it was very interesting, very telling, and heartbreaking. So please go check it out when you can. Go to that secondary channel. Okay. Hit that subscribe button over there. Hit that subscribe button on this channel, of course, too. Go to my Facebook page. Hit that follow button over there. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Check out PascalMerch.com. Become a member. Join the membership. Okay, hit that join button. Check out my Patreon and all of that good stuff. Okay, guys, but anyway, or check out Discord, like Debbie said. Go check out my Discord. They have some really great conversations over there as well. Okay, but please go check those things out. And I have got to get going. But have a great night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for sure. Have a great one. Subscribe, hit that like button. Check out my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. And I'll see you guys very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a great night, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.